I know you're around here somewhere, mockup, because I saved you yesterday. So where are you? Are you in here? No. Maybe you're in here for prison. No, definitely not here. Maybe I saved it in the cloud. I should check that.
Adi?
What?
We're recording.
We are? Hey. Sup? Yeah, don't mind me. I was just organizing some stuff here on my computer. I have this awesome folder system that I use. Yeah. It's really easy to find stuff with it. Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Adi, and as a web designer and content creator, one of the hardest things for me is to properly organize all my reference images, my fonts, various mockup files I use regularly, or just any kind of image that I use for inspiration. So, for example, when I browse Dribbble, I want to be able to save an image that I like for future reference. I can save it inside Dribbble, but I want it to be in a place where I can also put any screenshots I take. So far, these references are all over the place for me. Some are saved in Dribbble, some are saved as screenshots on my computer, some in the cloud. I have some files that I access via links bookmarked in my browser. Yeah, it's really hard to find a specific file like this, which is why I'm not very happy with it. In fact, this is my unhappy face. Now, recently, I heard about this app called Eagle, and apparently you can use it to gather all kinds of assets in a single central hub and organize them properly. And guess what? It does that. It does that phenomenally. In fact, I am now very happy. This is my happy face. Okay, it's the same face, but I'm happier inside. Let me show you what you can do with Eagle. This is Eagle. I've been using it for a couple of days, and I've already started to populate it with my most used files, with some of the mockup files that I use. I also have in here some images that I got from Dribbble for inspiration, some fonts, some YouTube end screens that I use a lot for Tuts Plus. So it's proven very, very handy so far. Now, for me, Eagle is a big problem solver because it solves three main problems. Number one, it's hard to collect images from websites. So let's say that, for example, you're browsing a website and you find an image that you want to save for future reference, either to use it yourself, if you have the permission, of course, or for inspiration. Well, normally you would right-click and you would copy the image or save it on your computer in some folder. But let's say the next day you're working on a different computer and you need that image for your project and you don't actually remember where you got it from. Well, you're out of luck because the image is on a different computer. Or maybe you're on the same computer, but you can't remember where you saved that image. It happens. It happens to me a lot as well, and I know how frustrating that can be. So Eagle actually solves this problem because you have a browser extension, and with it installed in a browser, you can simply left-click an image and drag away, and then drag it in this area here to save it directly in the app, or you can save it directly in one of your predefined folders. But as you can see, this automatically saved the image to Eagle. So now collecting images from websites is really, really simple. The second problem that Eagle solves is the fact that it's very hard to organize your images and your assets properly on your computer. Normally, you would use folders and subfolders, and that's pretty much all you can do, really. And it's hard to navigate those folders when you're trying to search for a specific image. Well, Eagle solves that because there are multiple ways of organizing your assets in the app. You have folders, you have subfolders. You can organize via tags, via ratings. You can create smart folders. I'll show you what these are in just a little bit. So already you can see that you have a lot more options for organization than your typical folder structure on your computer. And finally, the third problem that Eagle solves is the fact that it's really hard to search for images on your computer. I mean, sure, you can search by name, but if you can't remember the name, then what do? There is no other search criteria that you could use. Well, in Eagle, you can search by all of these things: file name, folder description, the extension. You can search by tags, the URL, and you also have some filtering options here that makes searching for items really, really easy. So these are the three problems that Eagle solves: collecting images, organizing them, and searching for specific images. So Eagle is a problem solver, but how does it work? Well, it's simple. You collect the images, you organize them inside the app, and then you reference those images and assets whenever you need to. Let me show you how this works. All right, so first of all, how do you collect images and files? Let's talk about images and let's talk about the browser first. The Eagle app has free browser extensions for all major browsers. And once you have an extension installed, you can find a specific image that you like. You can left click and drag and just drag and drop right here into this area. And that will automatically be saved into your app like so. Or you can choose a specific folder. So let's save this, for example, in web design. So now if I go to web design, I have the image saved right here. So that's the first way. The second way is to just click the icon and select the batch save. That will actually get all the images from the website you're visiting. And you can just select the ones you want to import. You select import, and they'll be right here in your app. And then you can go ahead and organize them in any way you want. With the browser extension, you can also take a screenshot of a specific area, the visible part of a page, or the entire page. So capture area works very simply. You just select that. Of course, you can modify the boundaries after the fact, and you hit save. Or maybe you want to capture only this button. That's also easy to do. Capture area, and hold down Command. That's on a Mac. It's probably Control on a PC. And as you can see, this kind of gets you the boundaries of an element. So let's say you want to copy this one, click, and you can save that directly. Or you can just copy or capture the entire page. This might take a while depending on the length of your page. But once it's done, you will find your screenshot inside Eagle, just like this. See how easy that is? You don't need a separate extension in your browser to take screenshots. You have everything within Eagle. Now, if you want to grab images or files from outside of your browser, well, it's really easy. You can go to File, Import Folders, and you can select a folder and then clicking Open. And this is actually a great way to show you another feature of Eagle, which is duplicate detection. Basically, it looks around in your library, and if it finds the same image, if it finds you have the same image, it's going to tell you, hey, this file seems to already exist. Do you want to import it? And of course, you can import it if you want, but in my case, I have two duplicates here, and I'm going to select not to import those. And by choosing this method, Eagle created or added that folder to my list right here in the sidebar. And finally, you can, of course, drag and drop files from your hard drive directly into Eagle. It's very, very simple. Here I have a simple iPhone mockup file downloaded from Envato Elements, and you can find a link to that down below if you're interested. It's actually this file right here. So once you download this, you can simply grab the PSD file, and under Graphic Design, Mockups, I can just drag it in here. And that's it. I now have a new mockup PSD file that exists in my library, and I can always copy this to another location whenever I want to use it. And if I want to copy or add the website that I got that item from, I can simply paste it in here where it says HTTP. Super, super simple. All right, so that was step one, right? Collecting images and assets from websites and other places. Step two is organizing these assets. And to organize them, you have a couple of tools at your disposal. Let me show you. The first tools are obviously folders and subfolders. As you can see here, I have a couple of main folders, which are also color-coded. You can right-click a folder and you can choose a different color. And what I really like about it is that you can use an icon for it. And you can number them, or you can choose like a random icon from this set. Now, within a folder, you can have subfolders. And I have a couple here. I have under web design, I have resources. Inside that, I have another folder. And then I have a folder for a couple of fonts that I want to start organizing. And then I have a UI design folder. This is for inspiration. So basically just websites or parts of websites that I really like. I just place them here. And you can go on and create your own folders and subfolders to as many levels as you want. But you can also create smart folders. Now, smart folders are folders that will automatically collect items that meet certain rules. Okay, so let me give you an example. I'm going to create a folder, called screenshots. Okay, and I'm going to select if any of the following are true, if the name contains screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to create one of those folders. Now, let me go back to Safari, for example, and let me use my screenshot tool. Let's see if I have this active. And I'm going to capture, let's say, I'm going to capture this part right here. And I know that my screenshot tool, when I save it to my destination, it saves the files with the name screenshot something, something, something. So if we go to my desktop, you can see that it's saved as actually clean shot, not screenshot. Okay, so I can go back into Eagle and I can edit the rules, save changes. And now if I go into my all library here and I drag that image, okay, so clean shot, you'll see that inside my screenshots folder, I can find that picture. Why? Because that image or that file matched the rules that I have set for the smart folder. And that rule was the name contains the word CleanShot, which it does right here. So it automatically added that. So this is very powerful. You can create smart folders that will house all of your PSD files or all of your SVG files or all of your icons, right? Super simple to organize items using this system. Now, besides folders and smart folders, there is another way to organize your images, and that is with tags. So if you select an item, you can see that you can add tags to it. There are a couple of suggested tags, but you can also create your own. Let's say iPhone, and we're going to add the iPhone tag. Now, also, let's select design and maybe mockup and PSD. So I have 4 tags assigned to this file. And by the way, see this corner here? You can mouse over it, and that will give you a larger preview of pretty much any image. Obviously, in the case of SVGs, it's a little bit trickier because of the way they are. They are basically shown at their default size. Anyway, back to tags. If I go into my inspiration page here, I can select this element and I can add the tag of maybe inspiration and full page. And then I can go into my hero and I can add the tag of inspiration to this image. Right? So what are tags useful? Well, you can search by tags. Right? You can search for inspiration. Let's go to all files. Inspiration. And here it is. I have these two, which I tagged with inspiration. And I have this, this logo, which is not tagged, but it's inside the category of inspiration right here. So obviously Eagle finds and shows me that as well. Now, a very cool thing about Eagle is that it's really easy to find assets. So besides the search function, which by the way searches in or using all of this criteria that you see here, you can also filter items. So you can filter them by color, and actually it works very well. You can filter them by tags. So you can see all of your tags here. Let's say you want just this, just these 2 tags, right? It finds your items. You can filter by folder. You can filter by shape, by rating, because you can assign ratings to specific files. You can filter by file type, data imported, dimensions, URLs. For example, you can search for a keyword. Let's say Eagle. Right, so this shows me the items whose URL matches Eagle. So these are the screenshots I got from the Eagle website. As you can see, they already have this field filled in here. All right, how easy is that? And of course, if you want to stop filtering, you hit the clear button. Now, where exactly does Eagle save these files? Well, it saves them in a library, and you can place that library anywhere you want. What I do is I put it in my Dropbox folder, and that way I sync it between devices. So I have this laptop right here that I'm working on. I have this synced to that library, but I also have my main computer that's also synced to the same library. And whenever I make a change on my laptop, that gets synced to my other computer, and vice versa. So it's really easy. For example, if you have a PC at home and one at work, you can seamlessly work with Eagle and add or remove, change your library of items basically in one place, and those changes will be reflected in the other place. To access your library, you would hit this little button here. As you can see, mine is called AP Design Library. It's in my Dropbox folder. But at any point, you can create a new library and you can switch to another library. This is useful because you might have different types of projects you want to use Eagle for. Maybe you have one for web design, like I have here, but in your free time, you also, I don't know, maybe you want to build a house and you want to collect various images for inspiration. You can create a new library for that called New House. And this way you don't mix the images between the two libraries because they're meant for different things, right? So at any point, you can switch between libraries and you can add the images that you want in any of those libraries. All right, so who is it for? Who should use Eagle? Well, it's for anyone who wants a simple way of capturing and organizing reference images and files. For example, if you're doing design research for a project or you're gathering images for your own inspiration, Eagle is a great choice. It's really easy to capture images from the web or bring in images from other sources. Eagle is also great if you want to get easy access to some commonly used files. I showed you an example from my own library where I store all these YouTube end screens. Whenever I need one, I just grab it from the app and copy it wherever I want. Another great example would be management for your fonts or your audio/video files. If you're a video editor or content creator, you can save certain audio or video files that you use all the time, like a jingle or a video intro or some stock video. It's much easier to have all these files in a single place and always find them when you need to. All right, now let's talk about pricing. Eagle is not free. It costs $29.95 US. But here's the cool part. You buy it once and you own it. You have free updates, you have no subscription fees. And one thing to note here is that each license can be used on 2 devices, either Windows or Mac OS. And you also have some educational discounts. You also have a 30-day free trial to try out this app, but for me personally, I'm definitely gonna buy it after my trial ends. So now for the conclusion. Personally, I'm very happy that I found this app because I've actually been looking for something like this for quite some time. I did find one a couple of years ago, but it got discontinued at some point, and yeah, I basically lost all my files with that. But now with Eagle, I'm very happy with it. I've been using it for a couple of days already, and it's proven to be quite useful. And I can confidently say that this is an app that's going to stay with me for a very, very long time. With that said, thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and please let us know down in the comments what system or what app do you use to categorize all of your reference images and files. I'm Adi, and until next time, take care.